Yes, this is centered. I'm good. We're back. Welcome. Welcome. So it is after Christmas, and we're creeping up on New Year's. We only got a couple more days to New Year's. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I know I did. I was running around like a maniac trying to get and just visit, real quick with people to get just to kind of get everybody through that. It was a tough holiday, this holiday for a lot of people, tougher for some than others. So I just wanted to make sure we were contributing to the right, type of, the right type of atmosphere for my family. I got my new gear on. I got the Nobody Cares shirt on. I got the SF beanie. I said "Shut Up and Train" on the back. This is one of my favorite shirts, and it kind of came perfect for Christmas because it does have a nice red. It's like a nice Santa, and nobody cares. So I like that. I got my boy back here. I punched this thing the other. It doesn't actually stand up either. It doesn't stand. Yeah, he's gone now. So I'm gonna stand him up in the background. Yeah, he looks real scary. Okay, or he's just gonna fall over. He's just gonna fall over back there. So, so it was a really tough time. For some people, I really just enjoyed the holiday spending. I laughed a ton with my family and friends, and I just needed it. I was so excited on Christmas. I was so excited to give everybody gifts. I was so excited just to see everyone. I gave my cat gifts. I got my calves hoodie, or my cats have hoodies now. They're supposed to be coming in, as in everybody waiting for packages to come in because you can't go anywhere. So you're ordering all this shit, and it's coming in extremely slowly. But it's only because the entire world is ordering stuff. So try to keep a little calm, will you? Everybody's freaking out, and it's like, dude, everyone ordered something from home. How could you not understand that it is going to take a little bit longer? The shit we bitch about. So I was thinking about, because we have the New Year's coming up, I am almost done with the 30 days of 80-20 rule. That left me 6 to 7 days in which I did not track my food. And it has been a real pleasure. It has been an eye-opener as far as with making sure my training stays well. My sleep has been suffering just so badly. I'm trying to get my sleep back, and back like way it was. I don't know what it is. There's so much stuff going on. It's like, but I mean, if there's one thing that you have to improve in sleep, and and you're trying to actively improve it, I'm not just going to give up. Which kind of leads me into what I wanted to talk about. We have so many people. I've gotten probably about a dozen or so DMs about, I'm not feeling it. I just want to give up. I don't feel like moving anymore or moving forward anymore. And I wanted to kind of, if I can, put things into perspective. And I can use myself as an example, but I can use others as an example as well. So why giving up to me is never an option. I'm not a Marine. I didn't go to the Army. I didn't do any of those things. But through suffering and through poverty and through just not always getting what you want, it's not the case. I mean, I think like just wanting something and never getting it, or thinking that you'd never get anything is what gets a lot of people. And with that being said, some of us don't have the option to give up. Over the past probably 4 or 5 months, I've noticed for myself, I started to think I do deserve that. I deserve that, and I should be getting that. I could take this day off, or I can I don't have to do that. I work hard enough. So I'm using myself as an example because the previous 4 to 5 months, even through the pandemic, I started to kind of say things like that, just little things. It was just more than normal for myself to say. And then I started thinking about where I came from, what I've been through, who has affected me, my mentors, who I've met along the way. And I started to think, who the hell am I to start, sending, out these like little mini requests in my own mind, like, oh, you're good. Don't worry about it. You don't need to do that. And I'm thinking about all the people right now, and this is why you should always look twice inward, of all those people who have suffered through the pandemic, all the people who are, waiting for, operations, and waiting in the people who have, suffered with mental health and substance abuse. And I was thinking about all of the business owners who have closed their businesses and, had their dreams, ripped from them. And I started to think I have an obligation, because this is my dream. This is one of my dreams. This is why, part of my purpose is to own and run a successful personal training and gym, facility. It was something that I wanted, I wanted for so long. So if I didn't do every single thing possible, I'm doing all of those people who've got it stripped from them a disservice. I remember when it was my very first training session. I had a half hour in the morning, and it didn't get a new client for a very long time, but I used to get up at 5 to be at the gym at 5:30, because I didn't live too far away. I lived in Waterbury, and the gym was right down the road. And I would get there, I would get my clothes on, I'd have it all laid out. I'd, eat a quick breakfast, on the go, and get there and train, be all excited. Then I would work out. Then I'd come home and I'd go into, and I had only, 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours a week. That's where it started. And I was grateful. I was so happy about those 3.5 hours. And now I'm training, 35 plus hours, and have been for the past 6-7 years now. And I'm just ecstatic. I'm so happy. Oh no, 8 years now. I'm just really happy that I get to do that. And I remember when I was a kid and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I remember just kind of, wandering into Olympia Gym in Torrington. The owner was the owner was my next door neighbor and, friend. And, I remember wandering around in there, and it wasn't about the gym. It was what it did to me mentally. It was what it did to me afterwards. I was just such a punk shit kid, and I needed guidance. And the gym will humble you. The gym will, fitness and strength training and will remind you of, it'll remind you of who you are, and it'll also test you to who you could become. I also remember even, a little bit after that where, I was, I come from a really rough and, gritty family, great family, but it wasn't always like this. And, we were very, very poor. And I remember, after getting into fights with my parents and just not, going back, I remember being homeless, man. And I remember just, being so scared and being terrified, on the, on the street, man. And it sucked, it was terrible. And I remember all of those times. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me motivated. And I think right now, especially in America, I see a lot of people thinking that things are owed to them, and they're things that they should get, and we start talking about this, and we start really, um, really believing it and diving into it, and then people just do outrageous, terrible things for that reason. And I remember of all the times that I've had people who work way harder than me that I look up to. And it's so important to have good mentors, and it's so important to have positive male and female role models in your life to give you good examples of what a human can do. And there's so many people striving and hungry for that message. And I think that I cannot believe the amount of people who are outraged over the simplest and easiest and most ridiculous things. And it's like, yo, wake up, man. Wake up. This is the toughest time for those people who are soft. And I'm sorry, I can't hold back. And I knew that eventually it would come down to this, where I'm saying it publicly and I'm saying it to people, and you're gonna offend people. You're going to piss people off. But you know what? It just is what it is. So right now, we have so many people who aren't prepared. They're not battle tested. And I mean that in a sense of life or just struggle. They're not resilient. They're not tough. They, whether it be that their parents, hold them back, and we all say it. Everybody says it, oh, your mommy and daddy take care of you. But, there is something to that. I think that can be just so damaging for people when they're constantly falling back, and they can fall back on something. I don't think that builds a very resilient person. Not to say that I think you shouldn't be family oriented. I'm just saying, there comes a time where you got to let go of the kid's hand. And I think that there's a lot of hand holding. So how can you get out of that? How could you test yourself? Well, I mean, for me, I would say, the three easy ones, is if you're in a place of business or your work, start taking on work performances. Start taking on the challenges of wherever your place of business is. I don't even care if it's, and there's nothing bad about this, but if it's waiting tables, be the best damn, waiter or waitress you could be. Add your tips up every single day and just watch them go up. Try to challenge yourself financially, challenge yourself in a work performance setting. If you're a teacher, and you're getting one good email a week, try to strive for 3 or 4 good emails a week, where people are saying, thank you, we needed this, or we're doing this. It's just a work performance thing. Make sure you do it. If you don't want to be that person who's always like, oh man, people are throwing me under the bus at work, and they just don't understand, and it's just, it's like you playing that card after a while, even to your employer, gets annoying, and you will be passed over, looked over, walked on. Nobody's going to care, and it just is what it is. And I wish that that I could tell you that it's a great attitude to have, where you're just kind of like, woe is me. Oh, it's not. So take on some work performance thing. Try to outperform people at work, which is just competition. You can really test what you're made of doing that. I did that every single time in every single, every single place that I was employed at. When I was young, I worked at a detail shop, and I was just, always on point, always a perfectionist, always getting tips, or always getting people, wow, thank you, and always return customers. And it's because I worked hard. I remember my first day selling cars. I sold a car my first day. I ignored my manager. I was just ignoring him, and I went out and sold a car my first day. And I wasn't even supposed to be out on the floor yet. It was literally my first day, first 4 hours I was there. And I went, no, I got this. Don't worry about it. Went out, sold my first car. It was great. And I remember when I, worked at a personal training facility before I owned my own, and, I was the performance manager. That's what I did. It was to help people be better and perform better, even if they were outperforming me. That's what you want. You want people around you. You want to test your will. You want to test your spirit. You want to test your work ethic. And I think that's what we need to do. And I think it's so hard right now during the middle of a pandemic. But what we have seen, what I have seen, is the people who are going to do well, the hustlers, the people who have the crazy work ethic, the people who will be working while you sleep, those people are standing out now more than ever. And it is an amazing thing to see, although it is awful to see this much unemployment, awful to see so many people suffering and wandering around aimlessly. It has also been amazing to see the people who have stepped up, amazing to see the people who are hustling and willing to put their neck out there and willing to, not sleep. While you sleep, they hustle. That has been the best motivator for myself. And I've now just slowly kind of attracted that. And some people from my past, from people that I know, and new people, it's amazing to see. That's a good way as far as for work. The fitness challenges really is just kind of, for fitness challenges, everybody thinks you have to do a 30-day weight cut or muscle bulk or this. What I'm saying is, be consistent. I've seen more people fall by the wayside with their health now because it's like, oh, I can't go out, I can't do anything. Oh, I might as well just let my health go to crap because there's no reason. Well, if the reason the whole time was that you just wanted to be healthy and then also take care of your mind, because I'm a firm believer that the mind and the body are very, very much connected. I do most of the things I do physically because my body needs it mentally. The fitness challenges, man. When I never should have read David Goggins' book. David Goggins' book pumped me up so much that there I was the next day practicing to do 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 pull-ups. And you know what? It took me months, but I did it. And I was exhausted, and I was so tight. My chest and my back were so tight, but I did it. And there you are, just banging them out. And it was more for the mental and the physical, and like I said, the fitness challenges and the mental challenges. Running a 5K, going out, beating your time, getting heavier weights on your deadlift, on your squat, on your bench, anything, going on the assault bike and getting an all-time PR for how quick it takes you to do a couple of miles. I mean, any of those things. Test yourself, challenge yourself, test your will. I mean, that's what humans are designed to move. You need to be moving. So those of you who kind of just let your health fall by the wayside because of the panic or because it scared you, you're right, it should scare you, but what should scare you even more is not getting back out there. So you need to get back out there. You need to take care of yourself because you are the only person that needs and can take care of themselves. So the fitness challenges are such a huge thing, and I do them with all of my clients. My trainers do them with all of their clients, and it keeps them so accountable. It keeps them so happy, just overall. Now, as far as like mental challenges, and I know I said the physical and the mental are connected, but some people don't have that connection. They don't. Some people just think like, oh, I do something. Oh, I'm so good at it. Look at how good I'm doing. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to improve on that. Or, no, I'm all right, man. I am who I am. And I'm so sick of hearing that. Shut up. You are not okay the way that you are. Nobody is okay the way that they are. And I think that's a very important message. That message screwed me up for 3 months. You can ask anybody who knows me. After I read 12 Rules for Life, it was Jordan Peterson's book, I had to put that book down for, I want to say, probably 2 months. I had to put it down because I had to strip myself naked. Like, I'm not okay the way that I am as soon as I got to that, kind of part in that message. And I always kind of knew it. But once I really kind of, the right words were said in the right sequence to make me want to improve, it really did kick my ass, into gear. And, once I heard that message, man, was that a powerful message. And I was not right for a long time because I did need to improve on things. I thought I was great. Oh, no, I'm a great person. I do this, I do that. But it makes you look at those things that you hate about yourself and want to improve on them. And do you know how hard it is to improve on things you don't want to improve on? Very hard. So the mental challenges are important. Self realization is very important. Work on those things. Seriously. Take those things. If you know that you are, do everything for attention, find out why you do those things for just attention. If you know that you market yourself for just attention, whether it be positive, negative, anything, or just attention to your body, attention to this, just know those things about yourself. If you know that you do this one thing where you hit snooze too many times in the morning and you have such a hard time get up, work on that. Try to work on that. I'll tell you, it's in my journal. It's something that I said that I needed to work on. Stop being such a control freak. I am such a control freak, and I need to learn to let go. So I've been allocating projects that have been killing me, inside. You're just like, shit, I don't want to let everybody have this, and I've been, okay, they're going to do their job. Do your job. Get it. I trust you. For me, being a control freak and trust is really hard, but I'm allocating different projects for people to get things done. So then that way I don't have to spread myself so thin. And I'm really, really trying on that. And it's a hard thing to do, especially when you come from, a place of post-traumatic stress syndrome and constantly worried about, 6-7 steps ahead of the time. But I'm working on it. So if I can tell you guys where I have these biggest issues, and I have issues way bigger than that, but I'm trying to work on, but try to work on those, because the mental challenges that you can give yourself will help you in every way. So, you got to find your weaknesses and you got to improve on them. Now, you want to make sure that you're not using your weakness all the time as a weakness. You're always saying, oh, I'm weak, so it's okay, I'm just going to be weak. It's like, I don't know if you want to do that. So try to improve, the best you can. So, some of the things really, really quickly, as far as the immediate things that I changed about myself for maybe the past 2 years. My parents were tough. They were, tough. Shouldn't have been together, the whole nine. My dad was a tough guy. Really, really suffered mentally. Came from a really gritty family. Really poor, gritty family, dirty face kids type of thing. And then, kind of like how we were when we were growing up. Great people. Just it is what it is. But things that they did not teach me or tell me, which I've done in this past 2 years. Now imagine, I'm 32. I should know all of these things, but I didn't. I didn't know anything about, retirement. I didn't know anything about, starting multiple bank accounts and, depositing money over here and in business and finance. This has all been a crash course of I just finished an audit, insurance audit. I have no idea how to do an insurance audit, but here I am, looking up and writing things down, taking the time. Do you think I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. That is so boring. I almost fell asleep, but I still did it. In home ownership, I'm looking into now, trying to figure out how to go about buying a 3-family house, a 2-family house, or a house I want, or just figuring out how to go about doing it the best way. So the thing is we all can improve on things. We all can, and we are not okay the way that we are. And I know how that sounds for some people, but it is the new year. And if you think just because the year changes, that means you will change, you are sadly, sadly mistaken. 2020 was a way that people can work on themselves. And I think so many of people have taken that upon themselves and started to work on themselves. But some of you were waiting for that date to change to say, oh, this is the new me, this is the new this. And you are sadly mistaken. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it have worked. And people prey on that. People in the fitness industry prey on that you're going to say things like that and sign up at their gym and sign up at their training facility and sign up, and you're going to, buy all these things that'll help improve you, but you haven't disciplined yourself the year before that, or years prior to help you actually accomplish those things. But I'm with you. I'm trying not to be a control freak as much. I'm trying to, make sure I set up for retirement. I set up for, proper bank accounts and business and finance and home ownership eventually. It's like we all have things we need to work on, but you need to be actively working on them. So I will leave, you all with this. Please do yourself a favor. If you haven't already, take the time now, start tomorrow, set out a plan for yourself. If it's 2021, then it's 2021. But try practicing a little bit of discipline and resiliency. Try to challenge yourself at the workplace. Try to challenge yourself health and fitness wise. Try to challenge yourself with these mental challenges. I never thought in a million years that I would be doing some of the things that I'll be doing, that I'm doing and trying to improve on, reading the books that I'm trying to read, or, working on the things I'm trying to work on, or, even starting a podcast. It's been, 55 episodes, and we've learned a hell of a lot. Obviously, things have kind of changed, and that's important. But do me this favor, 2021 will not change you just because the date changed, I promise you. So do yourself a favor. Focus on those three things, resiliency and discipline. Through them, challenge yourself, because some people didn't have the option to quit. Some of us don't get that option. Some of us will never get that option. Some of us have to keep going, and some of us just have to stay strong for people who are the ones that are going. So I hope that helps. I'm out. I'll see you guys next time on the podcast. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for subscribing. Later.
Live Sculpted.